The SRC at Wits University says students will continue protesting if their demands are not met. The student body briefed the media a short while ago, and let's get the latest from our reporter, Pule Letshwiti-Jones. Pule, I do understand that the briefing is still currently underway, but maybe just in summary, explain to us what exactly the SRC is demanding that Wits attends to.
Well, pretty much still the same demands that were put on the table by the Wits SRC committee as well, which includes the scrapping of historical financial debt in terms of those students who are owing the institution and therefore cannot be able to register. They want the 45,000 Rand NSFAS accommodation cap to be amended closely to about 100,000, so students don't have a problem or risk that situation of being kicked out of residences due to not being able to pay up for what they would be owing. But of course, there's an element as well of saying students who could not be able to register as well should be given that opportunity to register. Those are some of the key demands, and it seems as though this protest will continue till Monday. It will intensify, particularly because we saw the unions now coming in and joining, such as NAHAWU. We've been told that other unions will join the protest as well on Monday, just to intensify and send a strong message to the institution as a whole. But developing as well, we now have established that there's a meeting taking place between the SRC committee and of course the Wits management at 1 o'clock. We were told yesterday it would be happening at 10 a.m., but it seems it has now been moved to 1 o'clock. It was supposed to take place yesterday, but in fact students claim that they were met with legal letters, which by the way as well we had seen after that to see that the university said it will be taking legal action against the students. But what I can confirm for you on record is that the registration period has closed. The institution has confirmed that the registration period has closed, and therefore they're falling behind academically, so they need to move with urgency to try and ensure that classes can commence even online as well. And therefore it has also confirmed that they will be taking legal action against the alleged disruptors who are causing chaos within the institution in the form of protests. However, students are not deterred by that kind of action, and they've vowed to continue protesting from Monday.
So, Pule, you've just mentioned the fact that they will continue with their plight, and they're saying that they're going to continue protesting come Monday. But from my understanding, they are planning to meet with management later this afternoon. Is that still happening, and what are they hoping to achieve from this? Is it just further discussions and trying to come to some kind of agreement?
Well, what I can tell you is that this is not the first time actually there's been an attempt to meet the students, and almost at every opportunity they've tried to actually find each other. It has always collapsed, failed, or not seeing eye to eye. And it seems as though here the institution may not be able to fulfill some of the demands. It's particularly with that issue of NSFAS, the 45,000 Rand accommodation cap as well, which seems to be the center of the negotiations here, which students really want to be resolved by the institutions, because they claim these are the very same. This is the very same institution that gets into business with the private accommodators as well, private landlords as well, and therefore they feel the institution should be able to persuade the landlords and of course the private accommodation businesses to say they should then cap their accommodation prices to about 45,000 Rand, which is a situation which could be impossible as well. So it all depend on what unfolds or comes out of that meeting. We do not know how long that meeting will take, of course, but it is expected to sit at 1 o'clock. Hopefully this may be a step in the right direction in terms of putting an end to the protests. However, if the talks are not successful, it means the protests will continue. The EFF as well held a presser in the morning saying that they will continue with the protests from Monday. There seems to be also a bit of division and cracks within the students as well, where we're seeing political lines actually where now there's different messages we're receiving from some of these political structures in an attempt to send a message to the institution. So it's quite chaotic currently, but let's hope that the meeting at 1 p.m. will yield some bit of results and be a win for everyone in terms of ensuring that the academic curriculum isn't delayed any further as well.
Certainly, and just lastly, Pule, I'm wondering if you got a sense from Wits SRC from this particular briefing that's still currently underway as to whether or not any other institutions will be joining in to support, for example, the University of Johannesburg or any other universities across the country.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, the EFF earlier on did say that other universities would be joining them on Monday from the University of Johannesburg, we understand. Not much has been said from the SRC during that briefing in regards to what will happen. That briefing was merely just centered around the details of today's meetings and what's the reason behind the protest. Not really anything new. We also did say yesterday that they were being served with legal papers as well. So there isn't something that's new that we can say came out of that briefing. Safe to say that meeting will take place at 1 p.m. And just to recap that most or some of those SRC students have been served with suspension letters as well. So this could also be part of the talks that will be taking place this afternoon to say, how do they do that? Does the university then reverse that decision in terms of them having suspended them? What's the way forward currently? But as I can tell you, the university has been quite firm to say that registration has closed, classes will continue, and legal action will take place against some of those who are alleged to be the disruptors, causing chaos and, of course, in a form of protests within the institution. So it will be interesting to see what unfolds after that meeting takes place between the Wits management, including the Vice-Chancellor, and the SRC from Wits.
Yes, certainly. We'll definitely keep you updated here on eNCA, and of course our reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones, who's at Wits University right now, will keep tabs on that story.